Who doesn't love soda now and then? Far be it from me to criticize anyone's drinking habits, but I don't think I'm alone when I say this is just unnecessary. This isn't the most absurd thing to surface out of Mountain Dew's almost 100-year legacy.
Yahoo! Mountain Dew!
No, forget the Mountain Dew Doritos pizza, Mountain Dew and Doritos cupcakes. No, did you know that Harvard University researchers linked Mountain Dew to infertility? Today's topic will cover nutritional health and the science of fertility. Mountain Dew, nor can any other sodas be used in place of a contraceptive. If you're trying to have a baby or lose weight, it's probably best to speak with a specialist. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. The source of the myth begins with a seemingly innocuous chemical, tartrazine, or yellow number 5, a common food dye. The story goes that this chemical can act as an orally ingested spermicide, leading to fertility issues in people with male reproductive organs. But before we get into that, let's go over a little bit of the history behind the soda. Mountain Dew was originally a slang term to refer to illegal moonshine in and around Appalachia, mountains that stretch from as far north as Maine and as far south as Georgia. During Prohibition, to keep police forces from arresting those involved in the distilling, there was even a folk song written in 1880 on the drink.
Now Lord man has used the pen, I've written the praises high of the red protein from island grain distilled from wheat and rye. Wear your pails, will cure all ills, so take off your coat and grease your throat with a bucket of Mountain Dew.
A good 50 years later, in 1932, Tennessee bottlers Barney and Allie Hartman wanted to develop a mixer for local bars, thinking it would be a consistent source of income for their company. They took cane sugar, citrus flavor, and carbonation to make their early prototype of what will become one of PepsiCo's most popular products. The brothers called their drink Mountain Dew, after the history of moonshining in Tennessee and surrounding states, but it never took off. They attempted to sell their drink to Coca-Cola, however, the company turned them down. The Hartmans eventually sold their drink to a gentleman by the name of Bill Jones, who relentlessly tested the drink and his own variations on the recipe in public spaces throughout his hometown of Marion, Virginia. Jones then sold his updated version of Mountain Dew to PepsiCo and came back to Marion a very, very rich man. It is said that when he arrived, he went up to his old buddies and said, "Fellas, I'm $20 short of being a millionaire." So his friends sent around a hat and collected just enough to get him to his goal. Nowadays, Mountain Dew is the lifeblood of Appalachia. In a documentary entitled That Sugar Film, Damon Gamo speaks to a 17-year-old man, Larry Haymans in Kentucky, about his Mountain Dew habits. Haymans says that he had his first Mountain Dew at age 2 and drinks about 4 or 5 bottles or at least a 12-pack of cans per day. Haymans even remarks that his cousin drinks
6 or 7 cans a day, and he's only 3 years old.
It's unfortunate, because that much soda every day will lead directly to some major tooth decay. Take a look at Hammond's teeth.
Oh, God!
An NPR article by Eliza Barclay notes that some 26% of preschoolers in the region have tooth decay, and 15% of 18 to 24-year-olds have had a tooth extracted because of decay or erosion, and that in West Virginia, you see people carrying around bottles of Mountain Dew all the time, even at a public health conference. The drink is so prolific in Appalachia that tooth decay has been nicknamed Mountain Dew Mouth. Though it's not all the consumer's fault, 2/3 of U.S. coal is produced in Appalachia, and that takes a toll on the drinking water. Much of the drinking water has been poisoned with arsenic, barium, lead, and manganese. In addition to the lack of clean drinking water, Appalachia is among the poorest regions in America, and many in the area are reliant on the SNAP program, formerly known as food stamp. According to a 2012 study from Yale University, sugar-sweetened beverages accounted for 58% of refreshment beverage purchases made by SNAP households. It's also well known that many sodas are comparable or even cheaper than bottled water, so many impoverished Appalachians are incentivized toward purchasing sugary sodas. The compounding of a culture of soda drinkers, a lack of clean drinking water, and poverty has led to a reliance on Mountain Dew for much of Appalachia. So it makes sense that myths concerning Mountain Dew's chemical impact on our bodies would spread like wildfire. Anything from infections to tumors can result in low sperm count. But is Mountain Dew among them? There are three main substances at the center of this myth: sugar, caffeine, and the yellow dye tartrazine. The dye known as yellow number 5, or tartrazine, a common dye used in cosmetics, medication, potato chips, and, of course, Mountain Dew. But does this compound affect fertility? In a study for Food and Chemical Toxicology, researchers fed a few groups of rats different levels of the dye tartrazine. On average, 2,641 and 3,348 milligrams a day, for male and female rats respectively. That's around 2 to 3 grams of the dye daily, which doesn't seem like much, but if you consider that the average lab rat weighs around 300 grams, it's the equivalent of you eating a pound of this dye every single day. Despite this, researchers found absolutely no connection between tartrazine and fertility, let alone any effects whatsoever in their 2.5-year study. One should also remember that this dye is used in a variety of products meant to be eaten and otherwise, so if this chemical had some connection to fertility, there would be plenty of research on the topic, and it would likely be banned for human consumption. That being said, the dye has been seen to exacerbate symptoms of asthma, hyperactivity, and eczema in certain members of the population. Okay, so it's not the dye. Let's look into the other ingredients. Maybe caffeine can lead to lower sperm count. A study done for the American Journal of Epidemiology examined the association between semen quality and caffeine intake among 2,554 young Danish men recruited when they were examined to determine their fitness for military service. After they controlled for confounds, a fancy word which here means a variable aside from the independent variable that influences the outcome of an experiment. For example, in a study on alcohol's influence on lung cancer, smoking tobacco would be a confound. They found that there was no association of coffee, tea, chocolate beverages or bars, or diet soft drinks with semen quality. Interestingly enough though, when all caffeine sources were included simultaneously in the model, only cola consumption was associated with a significant reduction in semen quality. So cola was the confound in their study, and only the caffeine source that had added sugar saw a connection to reduce sperm health. So caffeine isn't the source. But it looks like sugar might be. Two studies from Boston University School of Public Health and Harvard University School of Public Health found that the consumption of sugared sweetened beverages, or SSBs, have been associated with poor semen quality in cross-sectional studies. Insulin resistance is known to increase oxidative stress, which in turn can negatively influence sperm. The problem of sugar gets more complicated when you consider that the association between SSBs and sperm motility was observed among lean men, but not among overweight or obese men in the Harvard study. But the association between the consumption of SSBs and fertility was more pronounced in overweight and obese men in the Boston U study. Wonderful! Science provides contradictions once again. The long and short of the situation is that Mountain Dew can be connected to some fertility issues, but not for the reasons the myth is arguing. The myth claims that yellow dye number 5, or tartrazine, is a chemical that can leave men infertile. But that's just not true. Sugar, on the other hand, can be linked to lower sperm counts, and by that logic, Mountain Dew can therefore also be linked. However, any product that contains a large amount of added sugars would likewise have the same effect. At the end of the day, we just need to be aware of what we're putting into our bodies. All sodas, Mountain Dew or otherwise, can be enjoyed safely, but the key, as always, is moderation. Mountain Dew will do it for you, unless you do a dozen.
Oh, come on!
Hey everyone, it's me, it's Chill, and I got a little ditty for y'all. Hope you're ready. Alright, it goes a little something like so. Diddle-dum dum dum, diddle-dum dum dum, diddle-dum diddle-dum dum dum. Diddle-dum dum dum, diddle-dum dum dum, diddle-dum diddle-dum dum dum. Diddle-dum dum dum, diddle-dum dum dum, diddle-dum dum da-dum do. Yeah, everyone, that was it. That was my little ditty. Alright, see y'all later. I don't know, I'm doing my best. I'm like a snail. What do snails even do? Their best. Love memes. I've had like a giant allergy attack today. I've been sniffling and that word there, the sneezing, like a tune all morning. Hey boy, Chill over here with a little poem. We're gonna do something. Alright, cool. Let me get warmed up. daddy.